From the era of Nelson Mandela and Yasser Arafat, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, has shared a history marked by mutual respect and the struggle for the liberation of their respective peoples.
I, Nelson Mandela, do hereby swear to be faithful to the Republic of South Africa.
While Yasser Arafat did not live to witness the realization of his aspirations for a Palestinian state, Nelson Mandela succeeded in his quest. However, even today, South Africa continues to stand in solidarity with the oppressed people of Palestine. We will delve deeper into the legacies of Mandela and Arafat later in this video, focusing on South Africa's declaration to stop Israel amidst diplomatic sanctions. Please take a moment to like and share this video, and be sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any updates on the latest developments in the Palestinian struggle. In a move seen by many analysts as a significant turning point, South Africa has announced its decision to sever all diplomatic ties with Israel. This decision comes as a response to Israel's refusal to agree to a ceasefire and its continued relentless bombardment of the Gaza Strip. The ongoing destruction of the civilian population in Gaza has intensified, especially after the Israeli counteroffensive involving Palestinian fighters. Israel has threatened to bring Gaza back to the Stone Age unless the Palestinian fighters release hostages taken on October 7th. However, the fighters have insisted that the hostages will only be exchanged for the release of numerous Palestinians currently languishing in Israeli prisons.
And we believe the nature of response by Israel has become one of collective punishment, which falls fully outside of the practice of international humanitarian and international human rights law.
The toll of this conflict is staggering, with an estimated 10,000 Palestinians losing their lives and numerous others sustaining injuries. South Africa has described these events as a collective punishment of the innocent in Gaza. Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, a minister in the president's office, announced in a press briefing that all diplomatic staff in Tel Aviv would be recalled to Pretoria for consultations.
A genocide under the watch of the international community cannot be tolerated. Another Holocaust in the history of humankind is not acceptable. And the South African government has decided to withdraw all its diplomats in Tel Aviv for consultation.
Prior to this decision, Ntshavheni accused Israeli ambassador Eliav Belotsakovsky of making derogatory comments about South Africans, including government officials, who spoke out against the Israeli government's actions. The South African Foreign Ministry had been instructed to express the South African government's dissatisfaction with the ambassador through diplomatic channels. It's worth noting that Pretoria has long been a vocal supporter of the Palestinian cause, with the ruling African National Congress, ANC, frequently linking it to its own struggle against apartheid. In 2019, South Africa downgraded its embassy in Tel Aviv and withdrew its ambassador. South Africa is the latest in a series of countries that have downgraded ties with Israel due to the ongoing conflict. It is the second African country to take this step, following Chad's recall of its chargé d'affaires. Other Middle Eastern countries such as Turkey, Jordan and Bahrain, as well as several leftist-led Latin American countries, including Honduras, Chile, Bolivia and Colombia, have also withdrawn their ambassadors. Despite being home to the largest Jewish community in sub-Saharan Africa, South Africa has seen a number of pro-Israel demonstrations and initiatives. However, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, along with several ANC officials, has actively participated in demonstrations, displaying flags and wearing keffiyeh scarves in a powerful show of solidarity with the Palestinian people. During one of these outings, he delivered a moving speech.
As you can see, this is the National Executive Committee. All of us standing here, pledging our solidarity with the people of Palestine. We stand here because we are deeply concerned about the atrocities that are unfolding in the Middle East, and we have passed our condolences to the people of Israel, as we are passing our condolences to the people of Palestine. And we have a full understanding of how the people of Palestine have taken up this issue, because they are people, as many countries and leaders in the world have opined, that they have been under occupation for almost 75 years. And people under occupation who have been waging a struggle against an oppressive government that has occupied their land, but also a government that has in recent times been dubbed an apartheid state.
The government's position has faced sharp criticism from Warren Goldstein, chief rabbi of the Union of Orthodox Synagogues of South Africa. He expressed, quote, "I want to tell the president, and I want to tell the ANC, you are not South Africa. This president, his party, and this government are supporting an evil savagery that has shocked the hearts of all decent human beings around the world. How dare they?" However, South Africa's Jewish community, estimated to be around 65,000 strong, is not unanimous in its condemnation of the government's support for the Palestinians. Award-winning cartoonist Jonathan Shapiro, a self-identified secular Jew, emphasizes the importance of recognizing that many senior ANC figures during the struggle against apartheid were Jewish and did not support Israel. He pointed to prominent ANC officials such as Joe Slovo, Arthur Goldreich, Rusty Bernstein, Ronnie Kasrils, and Amy Thornton, all of whom had backgrounds as socialists, communists, or individuals advocating for justice in struggles worldwide. During the anti-apartheid struggle, the ANC fostered close relationships with leaders such as Fidel Castro of Cuba, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, and Yasser Arafat of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO. These leaders offered material and moral support to each other and saw themselves as fellow liberation movements.
Yasser Arafat, Colonel Gaddafi, Fidel Castro support our struggle to the hilt. There is no reason whatsoever why we should have any hesitation about hailing their commitment to human rights as they are being demanded in South Africa. Our attitude is based solely on the fact that they fully support the anti-apartheid struggle. They do not support it only in rhetoric. They are placing resources at our disposal for us.
This apparent hypocrisy in the West's response to the crisis in Palestine has deep roots. Yasser Arafat had been a vocal advocate for freedom and human rights as far back as the 1970s. He condemned the events in South Africa during that period and established a strong relationship with his friend Nelson Mandela. Contrary to some claims, the late PLO leader had already taken steps to recognize Israel's right to exist. A few years later, Arafat signed the Oslo Accords, wherein the PLO acknowledged Israel's right to exist and renounced terrorism in exchange for moves towards Palestinian self-rule in the West Bank and Gaza Strip.
And you are forgetting completely this organized terrorism. Even in the Security Council, you refused to condemn this barbarian attack on the South, but you blessed it. And you said that we accept the raid, but it was a little bit more than required. I have to ask those who used to speak about human rights. Where is this human rights there in the South? Did you see the picture there? Our camps, Lebanese villages, who had been smashed completely, some of these villages had been smashed with Phantom, with Skyhawk, with Mirage, with F-15, with Cancer bomb, with Lance rocket, with the Navy. Civilian war, yes, because it is your baby who did it.
We appreciate your support. Please like and share this content. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay informed about the latest developments in Palestine. Until our next update, take